I told you how I work with CEOs to increase value creation and to reduce time to value. And what I'd like to do now is explain you how that really works. There's a few steps. And in the first step, we would sit with the CEO and boil down the entire strategy or the entire value creation to the few buckets in the company where 75 or 80% of the value sits. And you will not believe me, but that is invariably the case. Everywhere where we talk with CEOs, they do not find it difficult to distinguish 4 or 5 buckets where 75 or 80% of the value to be created sits. And in that same conversation, we would help the CEO to identify the 2 or 3 things that need to happen in order to create the value. Believe it or not, I've not come across any CEO who finds that difficult. And I understand that. These guys, these ladies, they know their business, so they know where the real value sits. So once we've done that, let's call that the value agenda. Then, in the next session, we would identify where does the most critical work for that value creation really happen. And because we're all groomed in terms of authority and layers of hierarchy, we too easily think the person who's ultimately responsible for something is also the person who does the heavy lifting. And that's not the case. The accountability sits where it sits, and it amasses in the top of the company, and that's good. But the heavy lifting of the few things in every value bucket that needs to happen very often sits at lower levels in the company. And we would identify with the CEO and often with the CFO and the CHRO those very few roles lower down in the company that do the heavy lifting of the value creation. So that creates a pretty clear line of sight between the CEO and where the actual work happens. Once we've done that, we then, for each of those critical roles, in the same spirit of reduction and focus, would identify the few things, no more than 3 or 4, that need to be delivered over the time horizon of often 24 months. And we would identify the main risks that the company has to mitigate in order to set up the person in the role for real delivery. Let me give you a few examples. Very often, a role is critical and has to deliver much, but it does not always have the full authority to do so, because many companies are matrixed and there's other people who have a view and so on. A second risk is often about the capacity. So does the role that has to deliver have sufficient with the right people and sufficient funding to really deliver? And another risk is how much resistance is there among the key players around that role? How much alignment is there to that this needs to be delivered? And what we very often see is companies think at length about people in roles, but often do not think hard about what exactly are the risks in the role that need to be addressed in order for the person in the role to deliver. Once you're there, you have reduced your strategy to a value agenda, to a few things that need to happen to create the value, to a few roles that deliver the value, and in each role, the few things that need to happen and the few risks that you need to mitigate in order to set up the people in those roles for delivery. And then, in the final step, we've got an action plan, a limited set of very practical actions that you need to take in order to reduce the delivery risk in that combination of a role and a talent. And in this very focused series of reductive steps, we help the CEO to create much more focus, help the CEO to allocate their time to where it really matters. And by doing that, we help the CEO to enhance value creation and to drive down time to value.